I'm Renee Ritchie, your creator liaison, and right now I'm counting down the top 5 most impactful things on YouTube this week. Starting with, when will I get thumbnail test and compare, aka A/B testing? And that's what a ton of you were asking me this week after I shared some best practices around the upcoming feature last week. And here's the deal. After a very tiny test earlier this year, it was rolled out to around 10,000 accounts for a slightly less tiny, but still very small test earlier this fall. The next step will be a not so tiny, but still kind of small in the massive scale of YouTube test with around 50,000 accounts later this year. And that'll let YouTube not only make sure everything is working as intended, but finish up the massive amount of work it takes to update everything that thumbnails touch across the platform, which is so many things, and get it out to every account and all creators as soon as YouTubeably possible next year. True fact, I was crossing the street with Peter McKinnon a couple of weeks ago when we got to talking about how the YouTube algorithm works, like actually, and it got intense enough that we had to, well, 1, get out of the intersection so we wouldn't be hit by all the oncoming traffic, but 2, hit pause, fly back to Canada, hit record, and make a whole entire gorgeously color graded video for his channel so we could share the conversation with everyone. How to blow up, when to start a second channel, understanding shorts, all of it, basically. Please make sure you check it out. Creator Advice, where I unsurprisingly ask creators for their advice, is back, building on the likes of Eric, Michelle Carre, Mr. Who's the Boss, Sydney Morgan, Mark Robert, Jordan the Stallion, Haley Khalil, and so many more. Hi, Carl. We've got piping fresh hot takes from some of the best creators in the business on how to be better at the business of creating. Cleo Abram on AI just went live with Hopescope, Hayden Hillier-Smith, Sam from Wendover, Jenny Hoyas, and so many more to come. So check out the full Creator Advice playlist so you can catch them all. In a previous top 5 blog post, I mentioned that if a video isn't doing well and you think it might be the algorithm, one of the best things to do is to check click-through rate for just your subscription feed. Because there's absolutely no algorithm there. So you can quickly see how your most core of core audiences are responding and just gut check if the issue might really be the topic, title, thumbnail, execution, timing. Well, it turns out some of you weren't as familiar with metrics broken down by traffic sources as I'd assumed. So let me just add that it's an area of advanced analytics that's really worth exploring. You can see how videos are performing, not just overall, but specifically in the algorithm, meaning homepage recommendations, also search, suggested, notifications, the subfeed, and more, including external sources. Which brings me to a bonus tip of the week. If a video blows up via an external source, is that a good or bad thing for the video and for the channel? And the answer is mostly good, kinda. If your core audience, the ones that follow everything you do everywhere you are viewing on social in an embedded browser where they're not logged in, and then not viewing on YouTube where they are logged in because they've already seen it, that video won't go into their watch history, which can affect future recommendations. And that's why some creators just don't post links on social, only announcements. But beyond social, if a video blows up somewhere like Google Search, for example, which can include Google Discover, the built-in news feed on Android, it's likely a completely new and casual audience engaging. And that means you might get a ton of views, but not so much in the way of retention. And I know that can feel nerve-wracking, but it won't really make that much of a difference. To quote Todd Beaupre, who leads discovery and growth on YouTube, search, home, and suggested features primarily learn from performance on those traffic sources respectively. So external traffic shouldn't hurt. In other words, a bonus, like this tip. Now, back to the contenting.